everyone, my name is Izzy and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In my last video, I went through all the books on my physical TBR when reorganising my shelves in the back, and in today's video I thought, in the process of deciding what book should be on my October TBR, I would make a TBR jar to help prompt the decisions. I'm going to pick 4 books as my TBR for October, but I have decided that one of them is going to come from my autumn TBR that I made in my very first video on this YouTube channel. So we need to pick that as well, and then I'm going to pick 3 books from the TBR jar. So I think in my jar, I'm firstly going to write out the names of all the books that are on my physical TBR, and then I'm going to do prompts of books as well. So let's go. Okay, so I've written out all of the books on my TBR, and now I'm gonna find a prompt list to write out prompts, specific prompts. Okay, so I found this jar and we're gonna use it as our TBR jar. So with all the prompts, I'm going to fold them up and I'm going to pop them in here. Okay, so I've made my TBR jar. Here she is in all of her glory. We are now going to pick my October TBR. My ultimate guide to autumn. These are the books that I said I wanted to read this autumn. Now, I am almost finished with Alchemized. That's one tick. So that just leaves these 4. So what I'm going to do, because I said I was going to pick one of these and then do 3 from the TBR jar, but I've changed my mind. And what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to have to pick, using one of these prompts, one of these books. So in this jar I have the titles of all of the books on my TBR written out, and then I also have a bunch of prompts. Some are quite standard, like a fantasy, a romance written by a female author, and some are a bit more rogue, so they could be anything. Alright, let's get picking the first prompt. My handwriting is awful, so ignore that. The first prompt is Red Rising. My dad's going to be very happy about this because he's been wanting me to read Red Rising, so he's going to be very happy about that. Here she is. Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I have seen this all over TikTok. She's not actually, the writing's quite small, but she's not too thick of a book. I mean, anything compared to Alchemized. Like, they're all gonna do in comparison. Okay, first book for October selected. Next pick. Oh, I dropped her anyway. The next one, Where the Crawdads Sing. This isn't really giving October to me, if I'm completely honest. This more gives summer, but we let the TBR jar decide. We cannot question its decision, so let's go get it. It's helpful that I just organised my bookshelves because I know where everything is now. Here we are, Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I tried to read this, God, about 4 years ago now. That is crazy how time flies, and I just couldn't get into it, but I don't really remember any of the plot. Like, I briefly know, I know she lives in a marsh. That's all I remember. They made a movie about it, and I think that's why I started to read it, because I knew the movie was coming out. And it has the really famous actor from Normal People in it. Daisy Edgar Jones. It has Daisy Edgar Jones in it. So maybe we'll read this and then we'll watch the movie. So here's our second book. We really need a prompt now, not just a book. I'm gonna say I can have 1 skip. Let's do pick number 3. another title. Good Vibes, Good Life. This is a non-fiction self-help book. She's quite small. She's not that bad. I don't know, this TBR is not giving October. It's giving random right now, which obviously it is. But we only have one choice left. And we don't have any prompts that could help me pick from this autumn TBR. So I'm gonna give myself one skip, which I know is cheating, but I make the rules. It's my TBR jar. So we'll add her to the pile, but I do get one skip. So I want to actually read them. Like, it's meant to be a challenge. It's meant to push me outside of my comfort zone, because I must say some books on my TBR I don't think I'd necessarily ever reach for unless I was kind of forced to in this sort of way. But I do want a prompt. So let's go for pick number 4. Aha! We have a prompt. A book in a series. Okay, for this we can take from the autumn TBR, because I already know that I would like to start the Mortal Instruments series. So I'm gonna pick City of Bones off of my autumn TBR as the book from a series. Now I'm gonna give myself my one skip. I'll pick a 5th time, and I can either take the skip or stay with one of the books I have. So it's either a trade or a keep. That's how I do it, because right now the 2 books I'm thinking aren't high on my list is Good Vibes, Good Life and Where the Crawdads Sing, just because neither of them really give autumn to me. This kind of gives spring, summer, and this is a self-help book, and I just don't know if I want the help right now. That's not to be said that I won't read it. We'll give ourselves the option. Or maybe we'll give ourselves 5 books. I just don't realistically think I'm gonna read 5 books in October with a full-time job and everything else that I'm doing. But I want this TBR to be realistic. Like, I want to actually aspire to complete the TBR. Let's go for the final pick. Well, that one just flew out, so let's go for that one. Oh my god, it is Atomic Habits. This is another self-help book. This is the problem when you have too many self-help books in your TBR. So I can also read Atomic Habits by James Clear. Am I going to use one of my skips to get rid of one of these 2, or am I going to leave Atomic Habits? What do we think? I'll keep Where the Crawdads Sing, because I don't want 2 self-help books. Like, I don't want to get rid of Where the Crawdads Sings just to read 2 self-help books in 1 month. I think that's kind of overdoing it. I think I'm actually going to stay with Good Vibes, Good Life, because she's like small, she's cute. That is such a scammy reason to get out of reading the Atomic Habits. But I have heard great things about this, right? It's just, I think I actually need to properly process what it's saying and it's telling me. I did start reading this 2 years ago. Why do I always abandon books? I don't know, I was such a DNFer. I don't feel like I DNF books, but it seems like I do. And I was like writing notes and actually like taking it on board. And I think that's probably what I should be doing, because everyone talks about how fundamental these lessons are. So I think I'm actually, after all that bath I went to, I'm going to leave Atomic Habits and I'll keep Good Vibes, Good Life and Where the Crawdads Sing. So, to summarise, my October TBR chosen by the Jar of Wisdom is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. This is off my autumn TBR. Good Vibes, Good Life by Vex King. A little bit of self-love in October. Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. And Red Rising by Pierce Brown. That is my October TBR. I'm gonna keep these tabs in case I don't get around to reading them, and then I'll put them back into the jar. to be reused. We will be returning to the TBR jar at some point, do not fear. I love the idea, it's fun. I often struggle to pick my next read because I focus on like the 2 or 3 that I've been pinpointing, but I kind of forget everything else that's in my library. To be honest, if I hadn't redone my bookshelves the other day, I wouldn't have clocked on to the fact that I had any of these books, so it's a good thing I did. I will be hopefully getting through these books across October, and at the end of the month maybe I will do a reading wrap up, and you can hold me accountable to see if I did actually read these 4 books. If you liked today's video, subscribe, like, comment down below what your October TBR is. If you want, you can check out my last video where I went through my bookshelves and listed all of the books on my physical TBR, so you know what books I could possibly be picking out of this jar. And if not, I'll see you next video.